Hey guys, welcome to Adversity. Coming at you the second episode. I'm Lee Owen.
And I'm Jackson Shelley.
Let's get down to business. So Jackson, what's been going on with you this week?
Well, I was supposed to be studying for my finals at Spencer County High School, but I kind of got distracted with being on that research grind for adversity. I found out that we're supposed to have 10 billion people in the world by the year 2050, which is going to almost double the amount of food that we have to produce in the world.
I mean, that's pretty crazy, considering we have 7 billion people right now, right?
Yes.
Like, on a global population, we have 7 billion people.
Yes.
And I mean, that's with a B, not an M. I mean, the difference between a million and a billion, it's astronomical, and it's almost impossible to comprehend with our minds.
Yeah, we had Lee Owen thinking that there's going to be 10 million people by the time it was 2050.
I will admit, there was a slight misunderstanding. He texted me, and he, autocorrect.
Yeah, he thought there was
It is what it is.
But anyways, there's going to be 10 billion people in the world. We have to increase our population by 3 billion people. That is an insane amount.
And to match that, we're going to have to double our food production, and that's almost looks impossible right now.
Well, it's going to be hard to double the food production considering we're going to have places for these people to live. So you're going to be industrializing all of that farmland into houses and everything you need. So there's really only one solution that we've come up with for this, and
What solution?
we've done some research on it. It's called vertical farming. So you're taking a horizontal piece of land and basically turning it into vertical. You take a large-scale building and you put shelves of plants in there, and you're able to control the temperature and the humidity and the UV light. So you're basically able to control the photo period and how long the plants grow for.
Why do we need vertical farming?
So as our goal, as we industrialize all our farmland, our farm and our crops have to have somewhere to go. And vertical farming gives us an alternative to the traditional open field agriculture, and it allows us to build farms anywhere in the urban landscape. Vertical farming is basically taking a skyscraper or a building on a ground floor, and it just builds up with crops in rows, and it's truly exciting prospect, and I believe that it could make a big difference in how we produce food.
Well, one of the big problems I see with it is the amount of money you have to spend on the land costs. I mean, buying a building in the middle of a city is not going to be cheap. And so how are you going to make a profit with that if you're having to buy this billion dollar skyscraper in the middle of San Diego? I mean, how are you going to make money off that?
Well, the thing is about that, since most processing plants for crops or whatever is in urban cities, with vertical farming, you're going to be able to move your production right next to your processing, cutting down on shipping costs, transportation costs, and it's just really cutting out the middleman and just moving the product straight to the source. So it's really going to cut down all those costs. It may cost a lot of money to buy the actual piece of land in the city, but with government-funded grants.
Well, you see, the other problem I see with it is you're going to need these educated farmers that have gone to college and have these degrees who are wanting to be paid more. And so you're going to have a problem paying them with just a startup. So you have to buy this large urban building, and you have to pay your people who are also educated and expecting more money.
Well, you see, farmers need to realize that this is really sustainable on a small scale. So starting off on a small scale makes this sustainable, makes the cost of labor, cost of production go down, and you just grow.
So what you're saying is you need to grow on a larger scale.
You need to start small and then grow large.
I understand that. It's just the problem is going to be making a big enough profit to grow larger. So are you going to have... We haven't seen any proof of this concept yet. We haven't seen an actual vertical farm go up in an urban city, and we haven't seen anyone take a small operation and go big with it yet. So the problem is that I'm seeing is we're not going to be able to actually push forward with this plan until we see actually someone go small to big and make a profit.
I disagree. Just because there's no proof of concept, whatever that means. There actually is one vertical farm, Tokyo, Japan, completely experimental, I will admit, but the studies have showed there is completely controlled climates allowing for year-round production, year-round growing, a seed to harvest time that has been cut in half from traditional harvest times. The yield is increasing, and it's completely organic, no pesticides, because there's no pest to spray against.
There's no pesticide.
There's no pests inside.
That's awful. So as I see your point with the disease and the pest control, you're also going to have a climate controlled environment where you have your humidity controlled and you have your temperature controlled, and that's going to call for a new HVAC system. It's going to cost an enormous amount of money to install that, and it's going to cost a lot of money to hire the people to actually work that machine. So what's your solution?
Well, you got to understand, since you can have different humidities and since you can artificially control the entire climate, you're gonna be able to grow. You're gonna be able to have different climate cells, and you're gonna be able to grow any type of crop, any type of fruit, regardless of where the vertical farming structure is located. So you're gonna be increasing prices of selling fruit or other crops that might not traditionally be in that area of the world, and cutting down on shipping costs, transportation costs, and you're gonna be able to farm and grow the crops 24/7. The lights are always on, which mimic the growing effect of the sun.
With your lights always on, it's going to cost you more. That's what I'm saying.
But it's worth it because you're cutting down on harvest time. Seed to harvest is anywhere from 60 to 100 days. Soybeans is anywhere from 45 to 60. With vertical farming and the UV lights, you're going to be able to cut down on harvest time almost in half at 28 days from seed to harvest. You're going to be able to growing more crops, faster yields, and greater yields because the UV, the blue light, has an effect on the leaves of the plant, making it more visually appealing, more aesthetic, and grocery stores and consumers are going to want to buy those items. And they're artificial. Since they're organically grown. Everyone likes that organic tag. Organic products increase in price.
Is that organic tag worth the amount of money you're going to be spending?
I think it is. I think cutting down on shipping costs, cutting down on transportation costs by having your processing plant right there in the city, right next to you, I think that's drastically going to change the game. And I think being able to grow these plants literally 365 days a year is going to just drastically make up for that cut in electricity costs and any other costs.
I mean, I just don't see a way you're going to be able to make a profit on this at all. I don't see a way to make a profit.
Well, it's not about the profit. The goal of a farmer shouldn't be about the profit. That comes second. The primary goal of a farmer is to produce good quality food. And like we started it off with, the population is growing to 10 billion people by 2050. We have to double food production somehow. With increasing industrialization of farmland, vertical farming is literally one of our only options. It's making use of land that we already have, making use of the industrialization, and turning it to our advantage. And I firmly believe that it is the only way that we're going to double food production.
I do agree with your point on the farmers. That is a great. Farmers do have the willpower and the belief that growing food and helping people is their number one priority, and profit definitely does come second to them. I just don't think it's very cost effective. I know that's not a farmer's main goal is to make a profit, but I don't see it being it. I understand what you're saying. Farmers are very giving and they're very good to their communities. They always give back. So just based on that, my only problem is the profit. I don't see any problem with it. What's your thoughts? Overall thought on vertical farming? Why should we have it? Give me your rundown. Tell the viewers your rundown because we want them to decide what they think.
We have to transition and fusion.
Alright, say it again.
Give me your rundown for the viewers to let them decide what their point should be for vertical farming.
Alright, so vertical farming, you're going to be able to grow year round. You're going to be able to grow any crop year round. You're going to not deal with any weather issues, no use of pesticides, not dealing with any natural predators. Reduce fossil fuel use off of the diesel in tractors, combines, sprayers, any other equipment you might be using. One-time equipment cost. You don't have to maintain as much as you might have to maintain a tractor that you're using to plow fields or harvest or whatever. And the crops are reliable. Since you're not dealing with pests or any other natural deterrent for crops, you're going to be able to grow year-round and you're going to be able to produce yields. You're cutting down on harvest times. Seed to harvest of traditional corn is 60 to 100 days. Soybeans is 45 to 60. But with vertical farming and the UV lights constantly acting as a mimic of the sun to grow these crops, you're cutting it down to 28 days A 28-day seed to harvest time is incredible, and I think vertical farming is a solution to the problem of the growing population and the problem of growing into industrialization to keep up with the population.
Now, I do see it as a possible solution, but the problem is the amount of loans and things you're going to have to get is just going to increase the amount of debt we have in the U.S. So it's just not economically plausible for me to have a vertical farm, so I don't really see a point of doing it.
Well, you have to understand, you mentioned debt. Farmers are notorious for being in debt, and most of that debt comes from causes that can't be controlled by us. Causes of hurricanes, earthquakes, or whatever. And that's not a problem with vertical farming. You're not dealing with pests. You cut down on pesticide costs. You're not dealing with any other natural causes that might decrease your yield, destroy your crops, or any otherwise hinder you from producing what you need to produce.
I think that was a very good discussion. Thank you guys so much for watching. We just wanted to thank you all again for the amazing support that you all have given us. And feel free to like, subscribe, and share our posts all over Facebook and Instagram, and just try to get the word out about this vertical farming issue. And we're going to let you all see what y'all think about that.
Feel free to comment any other topic or ag issue you might want us to discuss. Happy holidays from everyone here at Agversity, and Merry Christmas.
Yeah, thank you all.